fortress of the Philippines, key to the control of Manila Harbor with its great shipping facilities. Mountainous and rocky, Corregidor stretches across the entrance to Manila Bay. After Manila and Bataan, Corregidor was captured by the Japanese on May 6, 1942. Here on that black day, after a 4-month siege, the remnants of the American garrison were made prisoners. Lieutenant General Jonathan Wainwright was forced to give his last reluctant command: surrender. Japanese troops in front of the army barracks on Corregidor took down the American flag and raised their own. But now, 2 years and 10 months later, nearing the end of an 8,000-mile round trip, American paratroops on nearby Mindoro Island prepare for the recapture of Corregidor. Veterans of Pacific airborne warfare since New Guinea, these parachute infantrymen will follow up days of air and sea bombardment of Corregidor and lead the man-to-man attack. The parachutist's objective on Corregidor is a small, flat area which was once a drill ground, a difficult target which must not be missed. Now down to Corregidor. The barracks are visible as still more troops jump on the island's western end. Jump in teams of 10, one team at a time, for almost 2 hours. Troops rapidly assemble and take control of high ground on Corregidor's half-square mile head. Now the Navy moves in. And here, all guns blazing, the Navy prepares for landing operations. Almost simultaneously, this same Navy is smashing Iwo Jima, 1,400 miles away, and Tokyo, 1,700 miles away, and also grouping fast reserves for blows to come. Strafing fighters add finishing touches to the intensive combined bombardment. Landing barges carrying United States 8th Army infantrymen head for the strip of shore at San Jose. With the paratroops already in command of the heights, the beachhead ground assault moves in on a clockwork schedule. From their newly raised flag, the infantry push toward a junction with the parachutists above them. Joined together, the two units smash back the Japanese in close combat. Corregidor is retaken. Manila Bay is reopened to United Nations shipping. End of the long journey home. And the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor is a welcome sight for this shipload of wounded American veterans of the fighting on the European front. It's good to be back. The Red Cross is on hand with coffee and food, as they have been for every one of 50,000 wounded brought back through New York. 25% are stretcher cases. The clearance of patients from overseas becomes a major function of the Port of New York. Beefsteaks and fresh milk at Camp Shanks Hospital nearby. After months of battlefront life, the return home is the finest medicine. America welcomes her wounded heroes and provides for the security of their future. In Washington, as Undersecretary of State Group presides, Mr. Orhan H. Erol, Chargé d'Affaires ad interim of Turkey, signs the Pact of the United Nations in behalf of the Turkish government. The Honorable Mahmoud Hassan, Egyptian minister, also signs the pact as representative of the government of Egypt. The massed flags of the United Nations now include two distinguished newcomers. The common front against the enemy is strengthened. Trailing vapor, American bombers come over Ludwigslust in central Germany. The aerial phase of the Western Front offensive amounts to full fury in an unprecedented single day of devastating attacks aimed at the entire Nazi transport system. Nuremberg. In this one-day assault, 7,000 Allied planes, 40,000 Allied airmen rained destruction on German war industry, supporting ground armies which now have crossed the River Rhine in force. Fighters joined the attack, catching enemy planes on the ground. Lüneburg, low-level attack on marshalling yards. Striking almost every important German rail junction, this is the greatest Allied air offensive since the landings in Normandy. Uelzen. Here, as nearly everywhere in Germany, military transport is crippled by tons of high explosives, delaying enemy counterattacks on the American bridgehead east of the Rhine. Behind this mighty air assault, Allied ground armies will smash to their final objectives.